Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. I hope all of you have had an amazing first day of April and looking forward to today, the 2nd of April. Today we're looking at Judges chapter 8 and 9 and Luke chapter 8, verses 22 to 56. We see in these two chapters of Judges 8 and 9 the theme developing the danger of pride and the need for a true king. And Judges 8 and 9 continue the story of Gideon, but now we see a shift. After the victory, instead of continued faithfulness, pride, compromise, and self rule begin to take over. Then in chapter 9, Abimelech rises. A self appointed king brings violence and destruction. These chapters reveal a deep truth. When God is not truly our king, chaos and destruction follows. Judges 8, verses 1 to 21. After defeating Midian, Gideon faces conflict with fellow Israelites. He responds with diplomacy at first, but later he harshly punishes the cities of Sukkot and Penuel. He begins to see change. Gideon moves from humility to the harshness and control. Even the best human leaders are flawed and inconsistent. Jesus, however, is the perfect leader, full of both truth, grace, and never acting out of pride or revenge. Human leaders fail, but Jesus never does. Verses 22 to 28, people ask Gideon to become the king. I will not rule over you, the Lord will rule over you. This sounds right, but then he collects gold from people, makes an ephod, a religious object, and the people begin to idolize it. This becomes a snare to Gideon and Israel. Words may sound right, but the heart can still drift away. Jesus not only speaks truth, he lives it perfectly, right? And it is impossible to say the right things and still lead people away. It is possible, to say the right things and lead people away from God. Verses 33 to 35, after Gideon dies, Israel quickly returns to idolatry. They forget God's deliverance. They show no loyalty to Gideon's family. The cycle continues. Forgetting leads to failing. Uh, Jesus is the one who keeps us anchored in the truth. Without him, the human heart quickly drifts away. We must intentionally remember God, or we will slowly forget him, right? Chapter 9, Abimelech, Gideon's son, seeks power. He kills his 70 brothers and becomes king. He rules through fear and manipulation. Jotham, the only surviving brother, tells the parable, trees come choose a worthless and bramble as king. It represents Abimelech, dangerous and destructive. Eventually, conflict breaks out. Abimelech destroys others. He himself dies in disgrace. This is the picture of selfish leadership and its consequences. Abimelech takes power by force and destroys lives. Jesus, in contrast, does not seize power. He lays down his life and brings life, not destruction. Self centered leadership leads to destruction, but Jesus brings life and peace. A key takeaway is pride and success can lead to a spiritual compromise. Forgetting God leads to repeated failures. Self made leadership brings destruction. We need a perfect king, Jesus Christ. Uh, Moving over to the New Testament, Luke chapter 8, verses 22 to 56. Jesus' authority over nature, demons, sickness, and death is the theme. In these verses, we see powerful series of miracles. Jesus demonstrates his authority over nature, the storm, demons, the possessed man, sickness, the bleeding woman, and death, Jairus' daughter. Each story answers one question: who is Jesus? The answer is clear. He has complete authority over every situation we face. Right? Verses 20 to 25, Jesus and disciples are crossing a lake when a storm arises. The disciples panic. Jesus is sleeping on a pillow. They wake him in fear. Jesus rebukes the wind, waves, and instantly there is calm. He asks, "Where is your faith?" Jesus has authority over nature itself. Even when he sees silence, he still is in control. Faith trusts Jesus even in the middle of life storms, right? The faith that comes from the Word of God that is in us, right? We need to know how to meditate on it and increase it in our lives, right? Verses 26 to 39. Jesus meets a man possessed by demons. The man lives among tombs. He is uncontrollable and isolated. Jesus commands the demons to leave. They enter a herd of pigs, and the man is completely restored. Instead of celebrating, the people are afraid and ask Jesus to leave. Seeing Jesus has authority over the spiritual realm, he brings freedom, restoration, and dignity. No bondage is too strong for Jesus to break. Verses 40 to 48, a woman who had suffered for 12 years reaches out in faith. He says, "If I touch his garments, I will be healed." She touches him and instantly is healed. Jesus stops and calls her forward, affirming her publicly. "Daughter, your faith has made you well." Jesus is personal and compassionate. He does not just heal, he restores identity and dignity back. Even a small step of faith towards Jesus brings complete transformation. Verses 49 to 56, Jairus' daughter dies while Jesus is on the way. People say it's too late, but Jesus says, "Do not fear, only believe." He goes to the house, takes the girl's hand, and says, "Child, arise." He comes back to life. Jesus has authority over death. What seems final to us is not final to him. Jesus brings life where there is no hope. Jesus has authority over every area of life. Fear is replaced by faith when we trust him. Jesus cares personally about our struggles. Nothing is impossible for him, not even death. These verses show us that no situation is beyond Jesus. Storms, bondage, long suffering, even death. Whatever we are facing today, Jesus has authority over it. The question is not whether he is able. The question is, will we trust him? And I leave you with that question. God, have a wonderful Thursday, and we'll be looking tomorrow to, uh, you know, celebrating Good Friday. It's good because Jesus was crucified, so that we could come close to God and be in relationship. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed Thursday. God bless you.